Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mama Vic channel. Now, today I'm not going to talk about something that's very exciting, but I think it's something that's extremely important, especially for people that are from countries that are, trying to design regulatory frameworks around digital currencies. So I'm going to make this video extremely short because I'm going to just give you two documents or two links that you need to go to and read more thoroughly if you want to look into the regulatory framework at least, or you can look at the website and search more about it depending on where you're from, which country you're from, if they have information about it. So what I want to do is that I want to quickly skim through this website here, which is Global Legal Insights for the UK and for the US. But I'm really just going to skim through to show you the difference between the two countries and how they're handling the whole regulatory framework in the digital asset space. Then after that, I want to quickly talk about the Fetch.AI agents and what this means around regulation, and also draw some sort of contrast between that and the XRP ledger, because I'm very fascinated by the XRP ledger and what they're trying to do. And currently, you know that they're getting sued by the SEC, the Securities Exchange in the US. There's a lot of controversy around XRP, and the repo team is the one getting sued, or the repo executives. And the XRP ledger is a decentralized separate entity from the repo ecosystem. The CTO of repo is David Schwartz. However, the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson, who's the other executive of repo, are the people specifically being targeted by the SEC for having sold unregistered securities. So I'm sure many of you have followed this case. That case is very important, and that's why I'm kind of briefly addressing it today, but I'm not going to address it by trying to talk about everything that's going on and giving my objective view of what is security and what isn't. But I'm going to make a small demonstration of how you can actually make your own token using the XRP ledger. Now, when you do this, you're not going to need consultation of the repo team. You're not going to consult anyone that's anywhere. Basically, you just go onto a decentralized website that was created many years ago, and on this website it helps you interact with the XRP ledger, and instantly like that you can create your own token that you can use to represent real estate. You can use it to represent, if you have a bunch of pens or pencils, you have a school, you have inventory that you want to represent. You're like, okay, for every student that gets a pencil, you're going to get a token on your wallet, and that token is going to represent that you have a pencil. You were given a pencil, and that token is exchangeable, can be switched from one person to another. If you send this token from one person to another, it means they're now the owners of that token, of that pencil. So I'm going to show a small demonstration of how to create your own token on the XRP ledger. It's extremely easy, and yeah, so that's the point of this video, because the whole regulation thing, I think the people that are dealing with this really need to go into the cracks. They need to use these products, first of all, and understand what they mean. Actually, before I go through this, let me also talk about the Fetch side. So you understand Fetch, they're doing multi-agent based systems, autonomous economic agents, and they're designing the Fetch ecosystem was first launched on Binance Exchange using the Binance Launchpad. So of course they had these tokens that they distributed out. I guess they use that as a way to collect money, but thankfully the UK regulation framework is a bit more clear, and they've sort of at least tried to define and distinguish between different tokens and different assets. Unlike the US, you're going to see it's a bit of a mess. They haven't done all this. So I'm sure Fetch did that, the Launchpad, to raise some money, and I don't know if they sold tokens or whatever, but during the bear market everything was going down. Also the Fetch token, after getting launched, it was going down. But however, eventually it recovered and went past its all-time high during this bull run and doubled that price. So it was just a matter of holding. But after the Launchpad on the Binance Exchange, there was no promise from the Fetch team that if you have this token, if Fetch becomes a company in the future, that was the one that created this decentralized technology. There's no promise that if you hold the Fed tokens, you're promised to get a profit of those Fed tokens. So I'm imagining if Fetch was in the US, the SEC would be suing them, saying that they're selling unregistered securities, and yet there's actually no promise for a profit. If I buy Fed tokens, And I'm not saying any of this is happening. Fetch.AI is based in the UK. It's not based in the US, and the laws there are a bit more clear. And they're forming these consortiums to, they're liaising with regulators and other large institutes and companies to try and draw a clear cut distinction of where things are and what things are. So if you have the Fed token, you have no promise. There's no promise of profits from anywhere. If you're participating in the other products like Metalex or Atomex, the same thing. You're choosing to invest in these things out of your own volition, and you should be careful and not invest too much money that you're more than you're willing to lose. But if utility is built around these tokens, clear utility, and the value of those tokens goes up due to demand, then that's a whole different thing. You made a good bet. You made a good decision. You did your due diligence. You went out, researched a company that has a good team, a company that's getting established, a company whose team members we know, everything is on the website, a company that has team members that are working day and night, toiling, creating this revolutionary technology that cannot exist without blockchain technology, without a decentralized ecosystem. So their value proposition literally depends on the technology that started with Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. Let's just go straight into it. So this is the page. I'm not going to read everything. This is law stuff, regulatory stuff. So I'm not going to read everything. Please do your due diligence. This is an awesome website. You can come here and read. So this is the government of the UK, right? In England, well, UK, Britain, England, Great Britain. There's like three, whatever. I don't want to insult anyone. Of course. Let's continue. I don't want to get into trouble. Okay, so this is the UK. So I'm imagining it's the whole region, but that gets a bit more complicated. Anyway, so this is the product definition of digital currencies from the UK. I'm just going to briefly skim through this. I'm not going to read everything. Please do your own due diligence and come here. And if you want to find out more about this, especially, I'm using UK and the US because they're big nations and they're playing a very big part, and also because Fetch is from the UK, and XRP and Ripple, the company, is from the United States. So it's fitting that I look at their jurisdictions. So they've defined. Okay, let's read this. Although still actively developing, current UK policy thinking in relation to the cryptocurrencies was set out by the UK Crypto Assets Task Force. In its final report, the task force published in October 2018. So this was a bit far back. Let's look at these three distinctions from the UK, and then we try and draw some parallels with the Fed token. Then we move on to the US and draw some parallels with the Ripple, with the XRP token. So exchange tokens, which are often referred to as cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, and equivalents. They utilize a distributed ledger technology platform and are not issued or backed by a central bank or any other central body. They do not provide the types of rights or access provided by security or utility tokens, but are used as a means of exchange or for investment. So of course, like the way you see Fetch started off by launching their token, but as they build the ecosystem and grow, it will evolve. It will keep evolving to become a more decentralized ecosystem that doesn't seem like it's been launched by any central body, because anyone can use it without consulting the Fed team. And currently that is so. Right now they're focusing more on building the front end, the front end is the same way you can use like Uniswap. You're not consulting the team, but they have the front end graphical user interface that you can use to interact with the system. So security tokens, which amount to a specified investment or set out in the Financial Services and Markets Act 2000 regulated activities order. So these may provide rights such as ownership, repayment of a specific sum of money, or entitlement to a share in future profits. They may also be transferable securities or financial instruments under the EU's Markets in Financial Instruments Directive. I'm not going to try and get any cryptocurrencies off my head right now because I do not know any. Maybe an example I can give is maybe Paxos Gold. So if you purchase a certain amount of the tokens, but I think it's about maybe £600,000 or something like that, that's when you can go to the Paxos people and actually claim actual physical gold. So that's just one example I'll just give with security tokens. Otherwise, I don't know of any other company that's mainly focused around security tokens. Most companies that go public, they issue securities in a traditional way, but maybe I've just forgotten something because I'm doing a video, so forgive me if that has happened. Okay, so utility tokens which can be redeemed for access to a specific product or service that is typically provided using a distributed ledger platform. So utility tokens in the case of Fetch. I mean, the Fetch token is a utility token because when you hold it, you can build agents, you can initiate agents, and you can use the colon functionality. So there's utility within the token to fully to get all the functionality within the ecosystem that Fetch is building. You need to have the Fetch tokens, but however, they're building an interoperable system where you can make transactions. If you want to make day-to-day transactions within these agents, you can make them transact in any other digital currencies. But if you want to initiate an agent or use some other product suites within that decentralized ecosystem, then you have to have the Fetch token. So, and there's a whole bunch of things here. You guys can go do more research, like currency regulation, sales regulation, there's taxation. That's something you might want to look into. There's money transmission laws and anti-money laundering requirements, and promotion and testing, ownership and licensing requirements, mining, border restrictions and declaration, reporting requirements, estate planning and testamentary succession, end notes. So that's all I'll look at today. Let's look at the United States. So remember, the UK gave the distinction between three tokens, which are exchange tokens, security tokens, utility tokens. When you come to the United States, it's a bit more convoluted, a bit unclear, because now you're looking at so many organizations. There's a federal government in there. Instead, the UK one starts with the definition of what cryptocurrencies are and what's going on. There's a task force. When you come here, you're like, oh, federal government, most focus has been administrative agency, and then there's the CFTC, there's a securities exchange, there's the FTC, there's the OCC, there's FinCEN. There's so many things, and there's somewhere where they say there's no uniform definition of cryptocurrencies, which is often referred to as virtual currency, which is true, but I think somewhere they state that there's no actual, apart from states within the United States that are trying to develop their own laws, especially to protect themselves from the securities exchange and these companies being bound by the securities law, it's good to have some sort of regulation. But come on. We who are non-Americans, of course, we know the story of, how America has been the birthplace of capitalism the way we know it. I'm not like, extremes of everything is not good. Extreme capitalism, extreme socialism, maybe too much extreme freedom. Some people, like when you go to a doctor, you don't want to make the decisions of what medicine to take, of when to get treatment. You want the doctor's professional opinion of, because the doctor is the professional. So there needs to be some guidance to protect people, not to provide laws that affect or destroy investments under the guise of protecting people. So I think the United States needs some more sophisticated leadership in this space, because even when you read the first page, and I'm not trying to insult the US laws or anyone who's in the US, I'm just trying to compare the distinctions, especially with what's happening in the US. Like, you don't get any clear cut distinction of what's going on. Then obviously you can read more sales regulations, the securities law, because the SEC has been playing a very big role in the digital asset space. So basically, the SEC with the Ripple case, the SEC saying that Ripple is sold unregistered securities, which is the XRP token, and when you look at past documents, the SEC didn't actually define what XRP is or whether it's a security or not, and yet they're expecting that Ripple should have known that what they were doing was illegal, and yet there were no laws around it. So regardless of what anyone's personal feelings might be around the XRP Ripple ecosystem, it still doesn't change the fact that there is some injustice going on, because you can't expect someone to know that they were doing something wrong without even you yourself knowing that there was something wrong that was being done. So, and this went on for so many years, 8 years, I don't know if it's 9 years already. And then the former chair of the SEC then finally announces that Ripple is getting sued, and then retires the next day. And there's a lot of conspiracies that I really don't want to get into, like him joining another company that's around Ethereum centered or Bitcoin centered, then another gentleman from the same organization doing the same thing. But that's all politics. I'm just saying that things are not too clear. Okay, guys, let's just jump into it. Let me just quickly show you how you can actually make your own token on the XRP ledger without consulting anyone. So there's this exchange. It's called the worldexchange.net. So essentially, when you come here, it's the World Exchange. Trade, issue, and send directly on the Ripple network. It's even still being called the Ripple network, but it's the XRP ledger, because I think this was created a long time ago, but it's still active. So this is just me that actually created this, but the actual website is empty. There's nothing there. So you come here and it's like login or create a Ripple account. So you can log in, and when you create, you say create new account, it'll give you your XRP ledger instantaneously like that, your XRP account, and your secret key instantaneously like that. So when you log in with these secret keys, you're logged in with your actual XRP account. So let me quickly log in with my account that I created a while back. So here we go. I've logged in with the account that I created a while back. The reason why I've used that account and not a new one is because, you know, with every XRP ledger account that you create, you need to activate it with, I think, 20 XRP tokens. But if they made a new feature where if you delete that account, then you get a refund of the 15 tokens. Of course, you do want in the future maybe the XRP token to be very high value, and then you're locked in so much money in there. So you get the system automatically, the ledger automatically issues you back 15 tokens, and then the others are left there. So this one already has, and you can see up here at this top right corner, you can see that at some point in the past, I created tokens called UGR. You can create tokens with a 3 ticker symbol. So I create UGR, and I created two actually, and UGX. So when you create these tokens, you can, when you create these tokens, not every XRP ledger account can receive them. So that's, I think, to avoid spamming. So if someone doesn't want to receive your tokens, they don't have to. But if they want to receive your tokens, you can share with them this message here, this link here, and with this link, they can activate their own XRP account, such that they can then receive your tokens. So you can send tokens to them, they can send them back to you. So it's very, very easy. This is how we create tokens. You say, I want to create a CPU tokens. I have a computer business, and I want to create tokens where each token represents an item you've taken from my computer shop. So I'm going to say, I'm going to create 10,000 tokens, and I'm going to call them CPU, right? CPU. So yeah, so you go here and say issue. So I want to create 10,000 tokens. The symbol is the CPU tokens, and I'm going to set them at an initial price. So usually you can set this initial price in XRP. You can also set it in US dollars. Yeah. So basically when you type in, you can set the price in XRP, or you can, I think it's easier to set it in USD. So because essentially how the XRP ecosystem works, and this is backed by Bitstamp. So many of these, there's centralized companies that can create tickers. Any company can do that. They say, because XRP ledger is about IOUs, so you create tokens with the promise that, you know, I have the necessary assets to back them up. For example, when you convert your XRP tokens into, say, Bitcoin on the XRP ledger, it means that the intermediary company, which is not Ripple, which is any other company, so it could be Bitstamp, it could be there's some other exchanges that are listed onto the XRP ledger that are working along in there. So you can basically say that I've issued myself these Bitcoins on the XRP ledger. So the other company, those are like IOUs. It promises that anytime you want to switch them back to US dollars, they will be there, guaranteed. So that is how it works with the IOU sort of system, like the way you see the credit card system. The money is not really there, but the bank is like, you know, I owe you or whatever. So something like that. So anyway, what I just said was even much longer than issuing a token. So you have your computer shop, you say, I'm going to issue 10,000 tokens, I'm going to call them CPU tokens, I'm going to issue them at 10 cents per token, submit, boom, done. You've created an asset just like that. Within a second, the tokens have been issued just like that. I didn't have to consult Chris Larson or Brad Gallinghouse or David Schwartz. I didn't have to phone up Ripple. No, I had to come here, look at this exchange which was created, and there's more information about the World Exchange, what it is. Imagine being able to send money across assets, any form of ownership, instantaneous transactions. They talk about it. This platform was created by some individual out there. I don't even think it was created by Ripple. Issue tokens to represent any form of value. If you want to represent real estate, if you want to represent, if you have a computer shop, like I've given an example, you want to represent any item in the computer shop. If you have a gold mine somewhere and you want to represent ownership of maybe any person that owns the tokens that you've created, has ownership of certain maybe they can come and claim gold in your gold mine. Or if you have a company that's growing and you want to raise capital from specific people, then you can say, if you own these tokens, then you own a certain claim of for example, you've issued them at this price, so whoever buys these tokens then has a claim. So you can create a framework and say, okay, I'm going to issue these tokens as security tokens. But the XRP ledger itself is decentralized, and I've used the XRP token to enable me to create these tokens. But it's not like the XRP itself is centralized. It's the token that you create that I can then decide I'm going to use it as a security. So if you buy this bunch of tokens at the price that I've mentioned here, guys, I'm so sorry I became so emotional, at the price that I've issued here, then and only then can they be securities, because I'm directly raising money, and I'm saying that if you come to my company later, you can have certain claim of certain things. Maybe you have a mining operation. So instantaneous transactions, issue tokens, IPOs, ICOs, and the XRP ledger is based around IOUs. So you can issue Bitcoin, you can issue Ethereum, because there are third-party companies within there, maybe exchanges that hold Bitcoin, hold Ethereum. So if you issue using their gates, they're called gates, using their gates and issue Bitcoin, then there's an IOU created that you have this Bitcoin. But if you want to bring back those Bitcoin and get back XRP, if you want to bring back those Bitcoin and get back US dollars, we have the money to back that up. So that is all inbuilt in there. Anyone can do it. So they give you examples of how it's done. Global decentralized exchange, they explain everything. The best part of everything can be done in the same place, the same exchange. In actuality, the World Exchange is not really a place or even an exchange. It's only an interface to a global decentralized network that already exists, distributed across the world, the same way the internet is. Guys, I don't want to read the whole thing, but I urge you to go and read on it. I like they even still using the word Ripple. This is way back when XRP was referred to as Ripple. But XRP, everyone knows it's now XRP Ledger. So this was created a while back, before all the exuberance happened, before people were even talking about lending and borrowing. So I urge anyone that's really big on the case between the XRP ledger and Ripple and the SEC. Just if there's regulators out there, just first of all be aware of cryptocurrencies and digital currencies. Be aware of the law. So that's where you come in. Maybe you studied law, so that's done. Then go out there and use the platforms themselves and have a better feel and understanding of what exactly is going on, and that will help you better make laws around this ecosystem. So basically, you can set to receive tokens, because in order to prevent spamming the network, you can set to receive tokens. You can say, I want to receive, this is a symbol. Maybe if it's a different person, they can type CPU, and then the issuer is this. They take my address, they type it in there, and the limit number of tokens that you want to receive. So, that's how it's done. That's it. And then you say submit, and then automatically you can receive these tokens. Then there's other things like advanced settings in there, default Ripple. There's you can, I think, disable master key, disallow incoming XRP. So you can disable someone from sending you XRP. Transaction ID tracking, you can enable transaction ID tracking. So if you're doing something more sensitive, you can enable this. These other things: global freeze, no freeze, password spent, regular keys, Ripple server. And the other thing is, if you copy this address and bring it into BitThump is the other place where you can type in your XRP address and see all your transactions and everything. You can just see, I created way back UGX, UGR tokens, of course, the testing, right? I created, you can see the CPU tokens that I've just created. They're right here. They're right there. And the transaction order, I can send them to anyone that has accepted to receive them. Guys, that's it. So I don't understand, this whole regulatory thing is a bit complex, but I think the people in charge need to use these products and understand them. So I don't want companies like Fetch to fall into the same trap in the future, especially if they want to expand into other jurisdictions. I think the politicians or the powers that are in charge of this should actually use the products and understand them better. Guys, I don't know, maybe I was a bit animated, or this video was a bit emotional for me to make, but I'm not, as a person who was putting a lot of effort to try and understand these things, I feel like the people that are looking out for the future of this world, or that are in charge of the future of this world and how it's going to be, they need to do a bit more due diligence to understand what is going on. Guys, thank you for watching. This was a very long-winded sort of over the place type of video, but it's focused on one thing. I needed to do this regulation thing, though I know nothing about regulations, but I've used some of the products, and from that I want to sort of give my take, my 2 cents, my 2 satoshis, my 2 fets, whatever you want to call it, on the issue. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming back. If you stayed this long, kudos to you. Thank you so much. Hope to have you back next time. Take care, guys. Have a good one.